Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with the DRF race of the day for Thursday, December the 12th. It's race number 8 at Aqueduct. Let's throw up the field. It's a second level allowance race with a 62,500 claiming option going 1 mile and an eighth on the main track. Remember to access your free formulator past performances for this race on the race of the day event page at DRF.com. Take a peek, handicap along with me. We'll see if the number 7, Mama's Gold, can do it again. She was a huge price and didn't look like it last time out in the Empire Classic, pulling off a gate-to-wire gambit and earning a career-best 103 Beyer speed figure. She's got a nice little feud going with the number 1 Donegal Surges, who beat Mama's Gold 2 starts back, but was no match for that one in the Empire Classic. We throw up our Timeform US pace projector, and after Mama's Gold went to the front and dominated last time out, you'd expect those similar tactics here, although keep in mind the Timeform US has this pace labeled as fast, so maybe Mama's Gold will have to work just a little bit harder than she did in the Classic. Summer Cause, the number 2, got caught up in a hot pace dispute last time out. I think she's better sitting from off of the pace, and I think that's a really nice position that Timeform US has her in. Manny Franco, if he can get Summer Cause to relax, he can settle in second position. And if the pace is hot, you might want to keep an eye on the 4, Magical Ways, going turf to dirt with very good dirt form. He has the fastest Timeform US late pace rating. We'll kick things off with the number 1 Donegal Surges going out for trainer Todd Pletcher, and this is a horse that just really acts like 1 mile and an eighth is perfect for him, and we saw that 2 starts back in that allowance race where he ran down Mama's Gold. All in all, the trip was working out very, very well until mid-stretch or so when he got boxed in. He was able to alter course around everybody and still come with a determined run to prevail. In the Empire Classic last time out, he really couldn't get early position. He kind of got jostled in the early stages of the race, and then he got wired by Mama's Gold. I thought he ran on decently to finish 3rd, and I think getting Lasix back on, Lasix was on when he defeated Mama's Gold 2 starts back, could really help this horse. He's won his last 3 starts with Lasix, again gets the medication and a cozy inside post position. He also might get a little bit of a better pace scenario than the most recent start. Maybe Summer Cause gets a better pace scenario as well. Let's watch his most recent effort. He's going to tire and finish 3rd, but just consider all of the work he did in this race. He battled the 4th and 5th place finishers in a 5-horse field through very solid fractions. They went 23.62 for the opening quarter, and then they sped it up on the backstretch, 23.50. So not only was the pace fast, it was contested, and Summer Cause finished best of all the pace horses. This is a horse that doesn't need the lead to win. He's shown that earlier in his career, and he showed some talent earlier in his career, but unfortunately some layoffs derailed him. Ever since he's come back from the most recent break, however, as a new gelding, it just seems like this horse has improved, and I still think there's some upside for the lightly raced 4-year-old trained by Christophe Clement. I think he's a sleeper in here at a pretty decent price. The number 3 is Yo Daddy. Let's watch his most recent effort. This is a first level allowance going the mile and an eighth at Aqueduct, albeit over a wet track. I liked the ride Jose Lizcano gave this horse. I think he realized the pace wasn't going to be very fast, so he really tried to get this horse close in the early stages. He opened up an insurmountable lead at just the right time, and he was able to hold on at odds on. This is a horse that's kept good company on the turf, good company on the dirt. He has some back class, and he has a versatile running style. He can lead, he can rate. He's going to rate in here behind what should be a solid pace, but he is stepping up, I think, pretty significantly in class. This is a very tough second-level allowance race. Magical Ways is up next. Magical Ways has competed on turf recently, but the most recent start we want to focus on is the dirt race 3 starts back, where he got wired by the favorite in a very slow-paced race that produced a couple of next-out winners. The winner came right back to repeat in a $50,000 claimer with an 88 Beyer speed figure. As we saw, Magical Ways came with a decent little run that day to get second, despite the fact there was not a lot of pace for him to run at. 1 mile and an eighth on the dirt is no problem for Magical Ways. Don't be fooled by the fact that he's been running on turf recently. You give him pace, he can kick at a price. He's been stuck at this class level for a while, but again, the price is going to be right. and he's an honest runner. Mystical Curlin's last race was a little bit of a debacle. It was his first start off a 2-month layoff. He did get wired in a slow-paced race, but he just didn't do any running whatsoever. It was a good field, with the runner-up coming back to place behind Mama's Gold in the Empire Classic with a 97 Beyer, and then bounced out of that race to win a second-level allowance with a stereo 97 Beyer. Mystical Curlin, though, went on the layoff again after that most recent start, has more seconds than wins, and I just wonder about this horse's overall fitness level coming into this race. I'm not worried about a 1 1/8. He's a proven commodity over this surface, but I wonder if he's best played on the bottom of single race exotics. The number 3 is Margin of Error, who's shipping up from Laurel Park for a very high percentage trainer in Jamie Ness. Let's watch his most recent start going 1 1/16. It was a race where they ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way around the track. And maybe that just worked against Margin of Error, who tried to get into it with a 3-wide bid on the second turn and ends up being rebuffed. The winner of this race is decent. He came back to finish 3rd in the City of Laurel Stakes with a 90 Beyer speed figure. I was a little disappointed that Margin of Error couldn't get up for 2nd in the shadow of the wire there, and I think it's worth noting that of all the 10 wins in his career, they've all come when he's right up close to the early pace, a situation that doesn't seem likely considering that Mama's Gold is likely on ascend in here. But he is an honest horse coming into this race off of a good figure performance for a high percentage trainer, and he gets a capable apprentice rider named, so there is some weight off. Margin of Error should be a fair price. The 7 is Mama's Gold, and let's watch that blowout performance in the Empire Classic, and I wouldn't say it came out of nowhere, because 3 starts back he finished a good second behind Donegal Surges, his first race off of a lengthy layoff, and then they cut him back to a 1-turn mile. He's better when he is able to display his speed in these 9 furlong races. Again, a 103 Beyer speed figure is nothing to sneeze at. He's going to get Lasix once again. There's a chance he gets to the lead. The question is, will he be able to go as, I wouldn't say slow, but is he able to get to the lead without as much pressure? Without any kind of pressure as he did last time out? That's the question, and you know he's going to be a much shorter price than he was last time out when he paid over $80. Treble Clef is next, a nice honest horse in the Mid-Atlantic area coming up from Parks for Kate Damazzi. This horse finished 3rd in his most recent start. This is a second-level allowance at Parks, and he got wired by an honest horse in Irish Exit. He tried to make a move in here, and he just flattened out. He might be racing himself back into shape. This will be his 4th start off a little bit of a layoff. He's a pretty honest performance. Another horse getting weight off with an apprentice rider on, and he has some tactical speed. But I do think he's going to need a little bit of a Beyer boost against this tough field. Alternate Reality is the number 9. He completes the field. He's going to make his 2nd start off of the claim, stepping up off a $40,000 effort where he finished 2nd, and he got wired in this race. And maybe the pace wasn't there for Alternate Reality, although he was pretty close to the pace. He's an honest campaigner that has some back Beyer speed figures that would make him competitive, but he's going to have to prove himself at a longer distance from a tough outside post against a tougher field. Demand value on the 9 Alternate Reality. I think you're probably going to get it. Before we take a look at my top selection, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time. For race number 8 at Aqueduct, I'm going to take a little bit of a stab with Margin of Error, who is stepping up in class and distance. I'm not worried about distance. He's a big, strong son of the stout Mineshaft. And I think his last race, at least from a Beyer speed figure standpoint, puts him in the mix. I am concerned about his running style. I think he's probably at his best when he's prompting the pace, and he might have to come from off of it in here with Mama's Gold. Donegal Surges, I think, is going to give his usual effort. And keep an eye on Summer Cause. He's a horse that I might have underestimated just a little bit in my picks, coming off what I think was a little bit of a tough scenario. We'll see if Mama's Gold can do it again when he renews hostilities with Donegal Surges in our DRF race of the day for Thursday. It's race number 8 at the Big A. Good luck.
Hey friends, you look like you're in need of a winner. If you enjoyed the great content right here, just click and subscribe right here and enjoy the great DRF.com race of the days, the phenomenal stakes previews, and so much more. Many of that content featuring me and my exceptional selections. Trust me, you won't regret it.